Y'all, I recently finished this book. Actually, it may have been about 2 weeks now. And I have a lot to say about this book. I have read several books by this author, and I usually like them. And I actually liked the story of this one. I liked the characters. So she is a carpenter. Sorry, there's a glare. Hold on. She's a carpenter who works for her uncle sometimes, but also has a house flipping business with her cousin. And in this book, they are converting a boarding school into an assisted living facility. Of course, it's a murder mystery, so a murder occurred at the boarding school. It's a cold case. She finds what she thinks might be new evidence, so she starts investigating it. I don't have a problem with any of that. Here's where we get to the problem. She tracks down one of the teachers who is now working for another school, but it's summer at the time she tracks her down. So she's leading a summer program for theater because she was a theater teacher. All right, let me preface this because maybe I am reading too much into it because I have knowledge that most people don't. For those of you that don't know, I spent 16 years in the finance office of a camp and retreat ministry. There were 3 camp and retreat centers. They were accredited by a national agency, so they followed national guidelines. In this book, Homegirl walks up into the camp, and the receptionist is like, "Oh yeah, she's down the hall and to the left with the campers." No, She she doesn't have official capacity to be there. So she would not be allowed to just go wandering about the camp and have access to the campers without an escort. No, you don't just let somebody wander around your facility, even if it is the protagonist who is a good person in the book. They don't know you from Adam. So, no. And then there's another moment where she calls somebody and he just gives her a phone number without getting permission to give the phone number. Look, my best friend recently asked me for the phone number of a family member who has known her for 20 some years. I got my family member's permission before I gave her that number because you just don't give out people's numbers. So I think this author is a good author. I think her books are good, but there's a level of you're just kind of flubbing it on the research. If you're going to write about the real world, you have to research the real world. If you want to just make stuff up, there's a whole genre of that called fantasy. And then you can write whatever because it's your story and it's your world. But when you're writing realistic things, you have to make sure that what you're writing is actual truth. And I am concurrently writing 3 different things set in 3 different decades. And so when I am writing in the 1970s and I say he checked his answering machine, then I'm going to this handy dandy internet called Google and I'm going to be searching were answering machines a thing in the 70s. Okay, this is my Spotify playlist. This is where all my mood music is. If you've been seeing my Facebook posts, I haven't figured out how to do them on Insta yet. But yeah, so I just always try to make what I'm writing realistic. I overthink, so I'm thinking if I write this and it's not truth, then there's a reader out there who's going to be like me making a video running me down for doing poor research. My whole point is research. And if you're going to write something like that and you don't know, don't you have friends? Do you not know anybody that works for a camping center? They could have told you, oh no, we wouldn't do that. We would escort or something. Anyway, if you have Spotify and want to hear some cool songs from the 70s, check this out. Also, if you would like to be an alpha reader, hit me up. I think I'm almost to that point and we'll talk. We'll talk and see if what I'm writing would appeal to you. I also probably need sensitivity readers. I need to go over to Fiverr and do that, but I don't have any money. Anyway, research, y'all. Research. We have this beautiful thing called the internet. Also, there are some questions you can't ask Google. For that, I use DuckDuckGo. Anyway, happy reading, y'all. Support your local library.